Welcome back to Coffee with Danny and V, everybody. I am your host, Vanessa Ford, one of the co-founders of Menolabs, and joining me today, as always, every Friday, is Danielle Jacobs, our other co-founder. Danielle and I have had the opportunity, because we're now both vaccinated, to see each other in person, but we're still doing these from our homes. But we have some really exciting news for you, so keep watching because we're going to fill you in on a few things. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. I don't know if you're watching this on Friday, but it's Friday for us. So looking forward to the weekend. I actually get to see Vanessa this weekend in person, so I'm excited.
Yay! I gotta tell you, this whole vaccine thing, I'm really, really glad that we have this opportunity to be vaccinated. And we're still wearing masks and all of that stuff when it's appropriate to do so, absolutely. And I don't want anyone to think that we're just throwing caution to the wind here, because we're not. Danielle and I are both big believers in science. So for us, following the guidelines that are set by the CDC is really important. But what's really great about the vaccine is we get to see each other. And, when you have not seen people in over a year, even for an introvert like me, that's
Right?
difficult. And Danielle's an introvert too, so she can talk a little bit more about this as well.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a friend the other day, and she asked how things were going. I said, honestly, I've really enjoyed this last year, as hard as it's been, all the trials that's come with it, everything. I've really enjoyed this time with the family, and I've really reflected on that, and I've really enjoyed it with my kids. They're going into high school, so they're not going to be in the nest very much longer. I only have a couple years left, so that's definitely been starting to sink in. Been starting to think about that, kind of, what's life after, the empty nest time, and what does that look like, and starting to think about that. And
I have a news flash for you. Empty nesting is awesome. So our adult daughter's been living with us through COVID. And it's been really wonderful because she's really funny and witty. She gets that from her father, and it's been really good. But she's ready to get back out there too.
yeah,
And I talked a little bit about how I'm having difficulty adjusting to this whole COVID thing, but I'm really excited to get back to a routine. Here's the thing. The dishes in our house, we don't have a dishwasher. We do dishes by hand, and that's not that big a deal. We only own 5 plates because we're trying to live a fairly minimalist lifestyle, right? Try to not have more than what we absolutely need. And so we had 6 plates, we broke a plate. And so now it's just sort of thrown off the dishwashing schedule because we've only got the 5. I don't want to replace it because we go back to work. It's a whole thing, this 1 extra plate. So I'm really looking forward to just a routine of 2 people, because it's really wonderful. It gives you this time to connect with your husband in a way that you probably haven't had a chance to, unless you're on vacation without the kids. It's like date night all the time. I love it.
I'm not sure. I have to get into that empty nest, I think, to really figure out that I'm going to enjoy it, because right now all I can think about is I'm going to miss the kids. But yeah, so I've really enjoyed this year. And so I told my friend that, and she was like, of course you did, you're an introvert. I was like, oh yeah.
My husband, who's an extrovert, needs to get out. He is chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I have that extrovert tendency when I'm in a social setting. Just talking comes naturally for me. I'm not that, the awkward, quiet one. I can, as soon as we're face to face, I'll talk your ear off, but
it's true. But in a really delightful way. And she always has such wonderful things to say about her personal experience and helping you see what's going on in your life in a clear way.
I love doing that though, because my upbringing wasn't perfect by any means, and I learned a lot of lessons from it. whether it was my upbringing or different things that have happened, in my young adult years, and different life experiences that I've had. And I think that, learning from those different life experiences, I really learned one of the biggest things for me is not dwelling on those life experiences, but learning from them, advancing, moving forward. It doesn't mean that they don't hurt still. It doesn't mean that, you forget it or any of that. And I think that's sometimes people's misconception is like, oh, but I'll never, forget what happened to me. It's not about forgetting. It's not about, completely erasing it. It's about learning how to move forward from it and to take things away from it that are productive versus being not productive for your life. And so for me, I'm always very open about everything that's happened to me in my life because, I've been in different periods of my life, dark times and, really sad times, and I felt alone or whatever the case was. And I realized that if I can help one person not feel alone by sharing my life experience or something that's happened with me and help them put things into perspective, perspective has been a big thing for me. And being able to see and really place, okay, yes, I have some things going on in life, but are they that bad? Is it that detrimental to, that I can't move forward and I can't keep going? No. So,
Right. Perspective.
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of perspective, you remember the and sharing. I'm about to get TMI, ladies. Share. Do you remember a few weeks ago when I was like, I think I maybe had a hot flash?
Yes.
But I don't really know because sometimes it's hard to tell, especially when you live someplace warm, if you're, if it's a hot flash or if you're just hot. And the more I reflect on it, the more I'm pretty sure it was a hot flash, a couple of hot flashes that morning. And so I've been trying to keep it in perspective and not panic because I talk to so many women who are like, oh my God, my hot flashes are so bad. So I'm trying not to panic because as I get further and further in my menopausal journey, I realize that hot flashes are more and more likely. So I've been really trying to cut back the caffeine. I've been doing yoga stretches. Am I ever out of shape? I used to be a dancer when I was in my 20s, and I used to be really flexible. And I tried to do some exercises the other day that I would have in my 20s, no problem. And it was bad. Like I could barely get, you used to spread your legs out on the floor like splits and then try to lower your torso to the floor.
Yeah.
I could get my legs out, maybe in a V shape and get 2 inches forward with my torso. And it was bad. So anyway, trying to do that, trying to really think about what can I do to keep those hot flashes from, completely taking over my life. So I've been taking my MenoFit and my MenoGlow, which helps a lot. But I've also been thinking, okay, what am I going to put into my body? How am I going to maintain perspective? Because Danielle talks to me about perspective a lot. I tend to be a panicker and she is not. And so I'm just trying to do the things that I know I need to do to keep those happy little beach waves instead of that roller coaster of hot flashes.
Yeah.
And not panic about it. So thank you for reminding me about perspective.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're taking your MenoFit, your MenoGlow. That's, the first thing for helping your roller coaster. And I think what women don't realize is it's not, these changes that are happening in our bodies are from hormones, are for fluctuations of hormones. And you can't control those fluctuations. You try to help control them, and that's what MenoFit and MenoGlow do. But you're still going to have spikes. And so through those spikes, it might be enough of a spike to actually spike a hot flash when MenoFit or MenoGlow has been able to keep it at bay. And I think sometimes women worry too, oh my gosh, they're back, it's not working. No, you just have to keep being persistent. You have to be continue to take it. And maybe when those things happen, you need to do kind of the things you're talking about. What are those extra steps that I can take that'll actually help me so that I'm not having those hot flashes during those larger hormonal spikes, right? All right.
Right. So I've been trying to like really cut down on the caffeine, which is difficult because I am a coffee addict for sure. And I've also been trying to really watch my alcohol and my sugar consumption because I know that those two things can trigger hot flashes as well. So those are some of the things I'm doing. But I think there's probably some room in my diet to make some changes, right? I know that I could be eating, I think I'm eating pretty well. I've really been trying to follow eat the rainbow guidance that you give me. And I think I've been doing pretty well, but I think there's probably some more room for improvement, right? Just in terms of what my diet is like to help support that.
Yeah, and if you focus on, foods that have phytoestrogens in them, so, you've got your cruciferous vegetables, those are really good. Those are your broccolis and your Brussels sprouts and stuff like that. Soy is actually really good for a woman going through menopause. You think that there's been such misconception around soy. And they hear the word estrogen and phytoestrogen, and it even does things like scare men away from soy because they think that they're gonna become a woman or too feminine by eating soy products. And that's not the case. That's not what it does. But it does, help balance those hormones. And it does help with those kinds of things that happen because of hormone fluctuations. So,
and I think the reason women get afraid of eating soy is because if you're taking certain like HRT and that sort of thing, or right, your doctor may have warned you about eating soy. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't.
Yes.
But for the average woman who's not going through, who hasn't had a cancer treatment for cancer and isn't on HRT and that sort of thing, then it's my understanding that soy is not that big, right? Soy is actually beneficial. It's not this thing that we've been taught to be afraid of.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit of misconception or maybe around soy. Yeah. And I apologize if you can hear my dog drinking water.
We have new puppies, so if you hear little yaps. So, working from home's been a joy and a pleasure and, a roller coaster of its own. But yeah, I mean, and the biggest thing is, yes, if you have had, especially like breast cancer, history of cancer, certain types of cancer, and then your hysterectomies and stuff like that, or on HRT, if your doctors warn you against things away from soy, then definitely. But most women that are naturally going through menopause, soy is actually a great thing for you to do and to have or to eat and include in your diet. I personally love edamame. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, me too. I do. Yeah. So the other thing I know you can do, and we actually have a guest coming on to the show in just a few days, who is a woman who really focuses on fashion over 40. And she is going to have some tips on what you can wear to help keep your hot flashes to a minimum. So I'm super excited about that because I've decided that this year I'm just going to do a bunch of dresses.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else to do. My weight is steadily decreasing, which I'm super excited about. And that means pants are difficult, right? Because I'll buy a pair of pants and a week later, they're a little bit on the big side. And I realize this whole baggy jean thing is in right now, but I don't feel good in them,
Yeah. The 80s are completely back, and it reminds me of the 80s and the mom jeans and the baggy, boyfriend jeans or whatever they call them. And yeah, I can't do it. I don't know. I can't go back to the 80s.
And I'm all about dressing for comfort. Absolutely. But I just, when you don't feel like you look like you look good in something, it's hard to embrace that trend. Uh, in fact, it took me like 10 years to embrace the skinny jean thing. And now I'm like, I don't know about, I don't, I'm so at a loss for pants. I'm hoping she has some inspirational tips about how we can put bottoms on us that don't make us look like we're, trying too hard or frumpy, because I feel like those are your options when you get over 40. You're trying too hard or you're frumpy, right? There's got to be a middle ground. I'm sure she's going to tell us all about it. Anyway.
I'm sure there is. And I've been, I think looking at my fashion a lot lately. I don't know what it is. Probably it's coming into summer, it's getting warmer. You're thinking about, bathing suit season. You're thinking about, if you're going to do any kind of getaway or something like that with family, then you start thinking about all those things and what am I going to wear? For me, I think the trigger has been going back to the office. So I haven't put on really my office clothes. I have this thing that I absolutely hate trying to figure out my outfit first thing in the morning. I will try on 5 or 6 different outfits until I finally find something that works, and it takes so much extra time out of my day. So what works for me is almost like meal planning also, or like meal planning, like making your meals for the week, and so I do that for outfits. I actually on the weekends try on my outfits and I come up with my outfits for the week. And now I may not say, okay, this is Monday, this is Tuesday, because you wake up and you just kind of feel like, you know what, that's what I feel like today. I feel like a dress today, or I feel like a big comfy sweater today. So I try to make like a variety, and then based on what I feel that day, then that's the outfit I choose. But yeah, that's what works for me.
This handy little app on my phone. It's called Cladwell. And you just like, and this is not an endorsement. I'm not saying you should go use this app. We don't do that kind of thing here. I'm just letting you know this is what I do. And it like, you tell it how you feel about certain pieces of clothing, right? You upload all your clothing, and then it will suggest outfits based on, the what you like to wear, and it sort of learns over time what you like and what you don't like, and it suggests.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I've been trying that, and it comes up with some things that I never would have put together on my own, so that's pretty cool. But again, I'm still stymied when it comes to pants, because I just so when it suggests pant outfit, I'm like, next, find me a dress. So anyway, I think she's going to have some really good tips. I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. So
yeah.
Okay. And I run hot all the time, so I haven't had a true hot flash to my knowledge, but I run hot. My dad ran hot, so we sweat when we sleep. Just in general, I can't. If I'm in the heat, I'm sweating. I run hot and I sweat really easily. So I can't imagine what a hot flash is going to be like for me.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I don't run hot. I run cold, right? I'm always cold. I need a sweater when it's 80, and a hot flash just feels so foreign to someone, I think, who runs cold, especially. Maybe that's not true. Maybe it will feel foreign for you as well, but it just feels like this ball of heat that starts inside you and like radiates out, rather than the sun beating down on you and you get too warm. It's like the reverse of that, and it's not comfortable, and I did not enjoy that. So I'm looking for any way that I can to not have those.
I had a friend once tell me that was going through menopause, and she said they are just the worst. She would literally lay down on the floor and put her feet in the fridge or the freezer in order to help herself cool down. So I know that is one of the biggest complaints, of our customers, of women going through menopause. It's one of the number one, symptoms of menopause, which is why it was so important for us to address it with our supplements. But, and I'm amazed at how, I'm not amazed. grateful for how much relief that we've been able to bring women, because the stories that we hear from women are just amazing. 10, 15 hot flashes a day, and now they're down to maybe one, or they've completely gone away, or they've had a couple in a week, which is compared to having 10 a day was life changing. So
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to get ahead of it. And I think I'm doing okay, but I'm gonna try to get more soy into my diet. I think that will help. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe some tofu or something.
yep.
Yeah.
Get
Okay.
get You got to get your hubby to do some pan fried tofu for dinner.
Ooh, that sounds really good. We recently discovered this lightly breaded cauliflower that has a really spicy sauce added to it. Oh, it is delicious. If you like cauliflower, if you like spice, it's really low in calorie. We add some vegetables to it. It's delicious. I recommend it. Oh, that reminds me. So since we're moving back to the office, Danielle and I have some really cool ideas about the kinds of things that we want to focus on when we do these videos. Right now it's kind of difficult because we're in our homes and we want to be talking to you guys about the kinds of things that are happening with the company and with us so that you have a good understanding of where we're going. But when we get back into the office, which I think is going to start happening next week on a regular basis, we're going to be doing some interesting things, which includes, making the recipes that we put up on the app so that you can get a sense of what they're like. We can do taste tests, so that all kinds of good stuff. Danielle is gonna lead that because no one should allow me in the kitchen without supervision. She's an amazing cook, though. So she's going to be doing
Well,
that, and I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on the health aspects and talking to doctors and experts about what's going on in a woman's body so that you can hear from people who have studied this and know exactly what's going on, so you can get the answers that you need to make sure that things like hot flashes and brain fog and mood swings and weight gain don't impact you negatively. So stay tuned for those. We're super excited about the direction we're taking.
and I have to say, if you really like that cauliflower, I know what the first recipe might be. I have found my thing for getting rid of like fried chicken wings, is a buffalo cauliflower, and it's so yummy. So what?
Ooh,
And you do it in an air fryer.
I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we have tons of good stuff coming for you guys. I hope that you will come back, watch those things. Let us know what you want to see, what questions you have, what should we be asking these experts so that your questions are answered. Don't let us dictate the conversation. You tell us what you need, and we will get it for you. And until then, we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.